We do love a quality anime with an insanely overpowered main character, but that journey from being completely weak and useless to unbelievably overpowered makes it a fantastic journey that we love being a part of. The greatest part of the overpowered reveal? When everyone else around the MC gets shocked and surprised by just how strong our MC really is. Thank you for joining us today at Animeology. We'll be running through a list of fantastic anime series that you might not have heard of, but definitely need to check out. Here's our top 10 animes where the weak main character becomes overpowered and surprises everyone. Number 10. Seiken no Blacksmith. Bringing forward a well-polished and well-developed mix of epic fantasy and set against a relatively unique and fresh world of sword and sorcery, the Sacred Sword of Blacksmith sets itself against a world healing from an epic war. The Great Valbino War destroyed most of the land around 50 years before the story of Sacred Sword Blacksmith. During that time, one of the most dangerous weapons used was the Demon Contract, a vicious method of sacrificing human lives in order to become powerful demons. After the war ended, the surviving nations banned the use of these demon contracts. The story kicks off following Cecil Campbell, a knight from a noble family, proud of who she is, wishing to serve and protect her city like her father and grandfather before her. The story kicks off with Cecily trying to stop a troublemaker in the markets, but her MC is weak and almost defeated. Inexperienced and with no chance, about to get destroyed when a mysterious blacksmith named Luke Ainsworth steps in and saves her. The Sacred Blacksmith brings these two colourful and interesting characters together. With vastly different backstories and opinions, they bring an interesting chemistry on screen that is an absolute joy to watch. A couple of awesome action scenes definitely adds to that. Number 9. Black Cat. Black Cat brings forward some of the most badass characters and settings and wraps them up nicely in an interesting and highly engaging core storyline. Black Cat is a series that does not like to waste time as we get caught up in the tale of Train Hartnett. Yes, our MC is seriously that badass. An ex-assassin, Train now lives his life as a carefree bounty hunter, travelling around with his partner and earning an easy living. Until one day they break into an arms dealer's home and encounter a human bioweapon created using nanotechnology. Freeing this bioweapon from her owner, Train Hartnett and his companion get dragged into an epic adventure. Although Eve is supposedly very powerful, she seems quite harmless on the surface. Hartnett teaches her the ways of the bounty hunter, and she soon starts to surprise everyone around her as to just how insanely overpowered Eve actually is. An awesome watch that has a lot of avenues to explore, from the backstory of Eve to the true tale of Train Hartnett, and even the fictional universe of Black Cat itself. There's never a dull moment in the series when jumping from action scene to epic storyline. Black Cat is a watch you should definitely be checking out. Number 8. Dororo. Although Dororo started entertaining anime and manga fans from as early as 1967, there is a reason that people are still checking out and remaking this epic series. There are few pieces of work that really blend these elements of dark and historical fantasy in such a unique and engaging way. Telling the story of a ronin and a young orphan thief, and set during the seminal Sengoku period of Japan. This ronin was born malformed, limbless, and without any face or organs. Ronins. This is due to his father making a deal with demons for wealth and prosperity. The Ronin was set adrift away from his family, but was discovered by a medicine man using healing magic and fake limbs from dead children from the war, creating a near-immortal Ronin warrior. An epic tale about these two unlikely partners that are brought together in a grim and unforgiving time in Japan's history, with threats far more horrifying than mere humans. Strange supernatural entities, goblins, and demons told through the greatest character pairings in any anime series. Number 7. Plunderer. A world of numbers. Every single human has been set a number count that is etched onto their body. This numerical value is attached to an important aspect of their lives. But if the number were to even drop to 0, this person would be dragged down into the abyss and be considered dead for all eternity. We follow Hina, with a number count that tallies up to the total number of kilometers she has walked. Walking every day since her mother was dragged into the abyss, she has been searching for the legendary fighter her mother wished her to meet. 5 years have passed and the story picks up when Hina meets a strange mass knight with a negative number count. This mass knight is the legendary warrior that has 2 counts. 57,000 is tied to the number of enemies that he has killed, and the other one, negative 1,001, the number of times he's been rejected by girls. Although largely serious and pretty grim, Plunderer isn't afraid to make things light here and there. With some awesome action scenes and an interesting use of fantasy elements, the post-apocalyptic setting of Plunderer really helps set it apart from the rest. Number 6. Witchcraft Works. A little bit more light-hearted than most, Witchcraft Works is a brilliant romantic comedy with some fun supernatural elements behind it that help flesh out an interesting world of witches and magic behind it. We start off following Honoka Takemiya, a normal and average high schooler that is trying his best to live a completely average life. But it is hard to ignore Akiya Kagari, one of the most beautiful idols of the school. Seated right next to her, our hero has no choice but to get constantly bullied and pushed aside by her fan club. One day, when our hero is taking out the trash, he comes under attack. Right before his doom, a witch comes out of nowhere and saves him. This witch is none other than Akiya herself, as we soon learn that our hero, Honoka, is more than just your average high schooler. We soon learn that our MC is more than just a weak average high schooler and that he is the target of many witches due to a powerful entity that exists within him. Honoka teams up with Akiya and looks to become her apprentice, wanting to learn more and more about magic and the sort of powers it holds. As the two work together and train together, it should go without saying that other emotions start to develop between the two. Number 5. Katana Gantari. An epic tale of romance and action with a strong core storyline is what makes Katana Gantari an absolutely brilliant watch. From the very first episode, you are well aware of the core hunt for 12 mythical blades created by a single highly skilled swordsmith. Each of these legendary swords has an insane level of power and respect, tempting to even the most honorable and noble swordsman. Who better to hunt for these blades than Yasuri Shitika, a swordsman that fights without a sword. Enlisted by Togami, a young man who aims to rule the country and set off on a quest to collect these 12 legendary blades to help him do so. Yasuri is his first choice, becomes the most powerful swordsman, will not corrupt him as they set off on their epic mission to locate and collect these deviant blades all across Japan and face off against insanely powerful and horrifying opponents. Number 4. Sacred 7. A brilliant series that's not afraid of twists and turns to keep us invested in the core storyline and interesting MC. We start off following Alma Tadori, a lonely hero that lives a solitary and peaceful life, until his city is attacked by a monster. With no choice, Alma is forced to channel the power of the Sacred Seven, an insane power that makes him go absolutely berserk and lose control. Alma vowed to never use the power of the Sacred Seven because he had hurt people in the past due to its uncontrollable nature. A mysterious stranger, Eba Rui, steps in before Alma and the power of the Sacred Seven to get too far out of hand, using a sacred stone and attempting to control him. A story filled with mystique and a rich and colourful backstory, an interestingly brilliant series that had us on the edge of our seats. Sacred Seven is a series you do not want to miss out on. Number 3. Devil's Line. A brilliantly styling and glum dark fantasy series that isn't afraid to explore some of the more twisted and grim aspects of its interesting and engaging fantasy world. Starting off as a successful manga and seeing a decent level of success as an anime, we have seen nothing quite like it and definitely want more. Following Tsukasa Tiara, a normal college student that is rescued from an attack by a devil. Her savior is Yuki Ansai, a half-devil that uses his insane level of power as a member of a shady pole force that specializes and focuses on devil-related crime in Tokyo. Watching over her, the two start to develop an interesting bond, challenging our hero as he struggles to resist his rule to never drink human blood. With a brilliant world and some fantastic characters, Devil's Line is the next generation of anime series and we can't help but love it. Number 2. Tokyo Ravens. In an interesting version of Earth, with powerful magical techniques that were actually used during World War I, swinging the tide of battle through powerful magical rituals and making Japan a serious threat during the war. Unfortunately, this incident goes horribly wrong and is known as the Great Spiritual Disaster, haunting the entire Japanese continent and filling the area with strange and powerful supernatural activity in the form of spirits and demons looking to enter the real world. This brand of magic has since changed, becoming modern and treated more as a science than anything being used in medicine and technology. However, not everyone can use this insane magical power. Our hero, Haruta, has no magical powers, but when the story of Tokyo Raven starts to kick off, Haruta has no choice but to join in, showing us all that this weak MC is far more powerful than meets the eye. And number 1, Darker Than Black. Easily one of the greatest anime series out there, Darker Than Black is seriously underrated and you will struggle to find such an awesome mix of sci-fi and supernatural with these kinds of tension-filled thrillers and mystery elements. We are told of a spatial anomaly that occurred years ago in South America, opening this weird portal known as Heaven's Gate, in Tokyo a similar occurrence known as Hell's Gate. This led to the appearance of these strange and powerful people called contractors. Able to perform insane supernatural feats, these contractors are highly logical and block off their emotions with reason. Tools of powerful nations and organizations, these contractors travel the world killing and engaging in highly violent battles for objects and information. A shady and underground story filled with paranoid elements. As a viewer, even we didn't know who we could trust. Do yourself a favor and check out Darker Than Black.